Man, you got to be a cold landlord to make a move like that, because that's some dastardly work. Whoo! You a bold one. You a bold one. What's going on, YouTube? It's your host, Bruce GNT, and we're here to talk about this LA County landowner. He said, look, I got to make some extra money. I got to build some ADUs, some accessory dwelling units, and y'all need to get your cars the hell up out of here. So without further ado, let's jump right in.
This afternoon, it is a showdown between residents at an apartment building and a property owner who wants to turn parking spaces into small additional housing units.
All the cars have already been towed out. Eyewitness News reporter Jory Rand is live in Koreatown with the very latest on this. Jory?
Yeah, guys, this part of Koreatown is notorious for being difficult to park in. In fact, some of the residents we spoke with today say they chose to live here specifically because they had a parking spot. We should say they previously had a parking spot. Today, the owner had their cars towed out. He plans to turn this space where the cars were parked into additional units, and these residents are standing guard to try and prevent any construction from taking place.
I can't move. You're blocking me. Stop blocking me. Look.
Confrontation outside a Koreatown apartment building where this morning the building's owner had residents' cars towed from their spots in order to convert the space into housing.
Today at 6:30 in the morning, they ambushed us. They towed all the cars. They brought a crew of 20 men to take our parking using brute force.
According to residents, this is the fourth time since this summer that the owner has tried to do this. He hadn't been successful until today. This has become a trend around LA to convert these tiny parking spots beneath a building into ADUs or accessory dwelling units. The owner plans to put 5 of them in here. The main problem is that these residents were assigned their spots in their lease.
Their response was, we put a notice on your door. Well, that notice on the door doesn't change my lease.
She's absolutely correct. Also, I've done some research, to look into this and figure out why this is going on and see the benefits, because no property owner is going to do this without seeing some benefit. In my research and figuring out what's happening, especially in this part of Koreatown, it makes sense. I don't condone stuff like this. This is foul. This is foul, in my personal opinion. But I understand. First, I want you guys to look at it. You see it says 9-year resident. The previous woman that spoke, she was a 12-year resident. What's going on is that a lot of these people in this specific part of Koreatown, are long-term residents, people that have been there for years at this point. And not saying that this is low-income housing, but they are paying a set amount, and then when it comes to raising rent in California, it's kind of weird. But what's going on is that this property owner, along with other property owners, are starting to see that there's investment within that part of LA County, because the walkability is pretty superb. Because just like we said, finding parking is not great, but when it comes to walkability and the density of that city, it's becoming more attractive to investors. So what's happening is that investors are starting to put more money into this part of the city, but the issue is that now the residents have to keep up, because if they're putting more money into the city, that means that they're going to attract even more people and/or newer people that are going to pay higher amounts when it comes to renting. These people, sadly, do not fit the mold. A lot of these people in these areas are lower income people. A lot of them are immigrants. A lot of them are first generation. So they are not paying a whole lot because they just simply can't afford it. And just raising the rent really isn't going to do much in this case, because like I said before, California is kind of weird when it comes to that housing. So what's going on is that these people are trying to invest and make as much profit off of what they already have. So what he's trying to do is take those parking spaces, which are pretty small, but ADUs kind of fit into that category, and make them into more dwelling. And I guarantee you, I could promise you, he's going to charge out the ass for them, because he's going to make it look all new, make it look all fancy, and he's going to try to attract as many people as he can when it comes to tenants. You know what I'm saying? Smart idea economically and business-wise. Kind of foul when it comes to morally, and then I wouldn't say ethically, because it seemed like he could do it, but that's pretty much what's going on.
So this is still lease protected. They still haven't given us an adequate plan to make sure this is habitable.
The owner of the building, Mark Nassab, seen in this video filming in the navy blue jacket, declined an on-camera interview, but told me we have permits. They've been approved by the city. If it was illegal, building and safety would be here to shut it down. When I brought up the fact these tenants have parking spots in their lease, he said they have it in their lease, but the state allows it by just cause. We can modify the lease. When I told him his tenants are painting him as the bad guy here, he said, I know who I am. I know what I'm doing is right.
He knows what he's doing is right for him. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go over the, moral implications of all this, because that's not what I'm here to do. I'm here to just show the straight facts. And factually, he may not be wrong. it will kind of have issues when it comes to breaking the lease and everything like that. But if the city says he can do it, best believe he's going to do it and try his damnedest to, because it seemed like he was able to get through in this case. Now, like I said before, the reason that they're doing this, not just him, but other property owners, is because they're going, you know what, we need to capitalize on the fact that this is going to be attracting newer people that are able to pay more. That's what they're trying to do, because it runs into issues of gentrification and everything like that. Like I was doing like a real deep dive into it, so I'm going to be paying attention to this as this goes on. But yeah, that's the issue. They're trying to make as much money as they can without having to redo what they already own property wise. You know what I'm saying?
So Nassab says he is offering all these affected tenants $200 rent reductions. The tenants say that's not really the case. They've been offered temporary reductions, but they want to see a permanent reduction to their rent. The owner says that he is doing that. They say they don't believe it, and they just believe he's wanting to raise their rent in the new year. In the meantime, we've reached out to Heather Hutt's office with LA City Council to see what is going on here, if this has indeed been approved, and what these tenants are left to do now that they've been promised parking and had it taken away. We have yet to hear back.
I have a strong feeling, unless he's a slumlord and or not very smart, that it was approved by the city, because I don't think he's going to take a risk like that and F up a contract, because that's what the lease is, a contract with so many different people, and run risking him some more money. I don't think he's gonna be that stupid. Personally, I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the move. But like I said, yes, what's going on is that in that area in LA County, right, they're seeing a resurgence of people investing more and newer people moving into that area, and these people want to capitalize. In this case, he doesn't really care or mind the fact that he has people that are not paying as much as he could charge the rent for, and he's even offering to reduce the rent, because he knows that if this was to go through, right, with just those 5 units, he can make a killing. That's LA right there. At ADU, honestly, he could charge an extra. He could charge some New York prices. He could charge $3,000 for a place like that. And because of the walkability, the investment when it comes to what they're building over there and what they're bringing to that area, and the culture, yeah, he could make him reducing the rent by $200 momentarily, because that's what he's doing, and or let's just say he made it long term, he's gonna make that much back and more, trust me. But yeah, look, it's getting hard out there. When it comes to California, look, I don't think if you fall below a certain tax bracket, you should be living out there. My personal opinion. I say the same thing for New York and Miami. These people out here, these are sharks. If you can't make it out there, and I might sound a little cold, but I'm sorry, that's just the reality of the situation. If you cannot make it out there, you might have to find somewhere else to live. In the case of these people, they might be able to keep their parking spots depending on how things shake when it comes to their lease agreement, because like I said, that's a contract. But otherwise, I don't know. If he has the right to do it and the city says it's okay, he will do it. He will do it. Because when it comes to money, let me tell you something. People are going to make things shake for some money. Literally. Well, that's it for the video, guys. You already know the drill. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. Comment down below. Tell me your thoughts. How do you feel about this situation? Do you have any input when it comes to what I've said about them trying to maximize the amount of money that they can make from this property? Or do you know something that I don't know? Because like I said, I did like a quick search. I did like a little bit of a deep dive just to see exactly what's going on and how and why this is turning out this way. Because when I first saw this story, I was like, okay, this is kind of odd. But then when I started deep diving into it, I was like, oh, okay, this makes so much more sense. So if you have any input, please comment down below and let me know your thoughts. That's it for now. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.